So this is ChatGPT and this is your app. So what you want now is to have ChatGPT inside of your app. So what you do is that you go to OpenAPI and you get your API token. And to connect these two, you get your token and you put it right inside of your app. So if you do this, you will have a small ChatGPT right inside of your app. But this comes with one problem, because I can use your app and download the code, and right inside of your app, there is that token. So I can use the token to use ChatGPT on my own, but you will be paying for my usage. So as you can see, having your token inside of your app is not secured at all. So right now, let's get rid of these two and actually see what we can do about it. Well, actually, let's bring them back here because we will need them. So again, here's ChatGPT, here's your app, and you want to connect them, but you don't want to get your token right inside of your app. We don't want to do that. So we will use a tool called Buildship, and what we are going to do is to get the token from OpenAPI and give it to Buildship, and then link Buildship to our app. So right now what happens is that we will have that small ChatGPT in our app that we can use and do everything that we want, but the token is in Buildship, not in our app. So even if I get the code of this app, I won't find your token and I won't be able to use it. So this is why Buildship is so useful, because it allows you to secure your tokens and use a lot of APIs all at once. So right now we can get rid of everything. So in this video, we are going to be looking at how we can use Buildship, and we are going to make a small example so you can understand. So if you are a beginner when it comes to Buildship, this is the right tutorial for you. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So before we get started, I actually want to show you something very important. So when you go to the playlist of this channel, you'll find this APIs playlist, which is actually gonna contain all the videos related to APIs and AI. So just click on it and then click here so you can actually see the playlist. So right now maybe you are watching the video number 3, so please, I want you to go ahead and watch the video number 1 and video number 2. So the first one is about APIs for beginners, the second one is about super-based edge function. So please, these are going to help you understand what are APIs and how they work, because I'm not going to be explaining the same things here. So please, I have linked this place in the description down below, so please make sure to watch this video specifically how to use APIs in FlutterFlow for beginners. I've already linked this video specifically in the description down below, so you can actually follow along with me. So the first thing that you have to make is to create an account for free in Buildship. So here I already have a workflow, so let me delete this because I want to actually start from scratch with you. So once you have created your account, you will see a dashboard like this. So it's a new dashboard, before it was a different one. So we are not going to be talking about this because whether you are using Firebase or Superbase, or you want to integrate your app with some of Google Excel or Google Sheet or something like that. So you can actually do a lot of things. Like these are just some workflows built by the community. You can also have your own workflow and publish it in the community. It's more like a FlutterFlow marketplace where someone builds a template and then make it available for everybody to use. So it's almost the same. So we are going to ignore all of that and actually go to the flows and add our first flow, and we're going to start from scratch. Of course, there is an AI tool inside that you can use to, let's say you need some assistance at a certain point, or you need a custom node. I will tell you what is a node later. You can actually use AI to generate that, and it's really good at that. And maybe you can just use ChatGPT. I will show you later or in other videos, because I can't show everything in just one video. So we will give it a name like untitled flow and click on create. So that it is actually creating a workflow for us. It's like a workflow, and we will start from the top. So what this means is that you need a trigger. All right, so it's more like when you go to FlutterFlow and you want to actually, let's say in FlutterFlow you have a button, and when you click on the button, go to the action flow, you actually are selecting a trigger. So something has to happen, like when you tap, when you double tap, or when you long press. Like, so if you tap, a lot of actions will happen, like this one, and then this one, and then this one. So these are the same as these here. So we need a trigger to, like, something has to happen in order for us, or in order for Buildship to execute the flow. So it's called the flow, and in FlutterFlow it's called the action flow. All right, so it's almost the same. If you understand FlutterFlow, you won't have any problem understanding the Buildship. So now the trigger, for the most cases, like you might actually let's say you have received a payment from Stripe. So you will, like, if someone pays, all right, you will send them an email, thank you for your payment, or thank you for your subscription. Or if someone actually signed up, if you are using Firebase, you will send them an email saying thank you, or if someone signs up, you would actually send him an OTP to verify. Like, there are a lot of things going on, and as a beginner, you only have to care about this, right? So when you click on the REST API call, so what this means is that we are going to call the flow we are going to create right now in Buildship. We are going to call it, and we do this by choosing the REST API. So we are going to build a flow, and inside of our app, like how we did in the API video, we will do something here and call that thing. Call all that action flow inside of Buildship. We'll call all of that. All right. So the trigger should be REST API. Again, as I told you, if you need, you can choose any trigger you want. You can choose a trigger. Let's say someone signs up in Superbase, you send them an email or an OTP. You can choose any trigger, right? But right now, we want to choose the REST API, and we are going to choose get. Since right now we only talk about get methods in terms of APIs on this channel, we want to actually stick to just the get. We will talk about others in the future. So we are going to open this one and just the type. So we are going to be building a small weather app, all right, that actually returns the weather of certain cities, and the result is JSON. Again, we're talking about this in the API video. As I have linked it before. You have to watch that video if it's your first time looking at API. So click on connect. So it will take some time, and it will give you a link that will be used later. So let's actually go back to build here. You can go to connect if you want to see some more data, but click on build. So now what we have done is that we have actually added a trigger. So this means that we can actually call this API and everything. So once we have, let's say we called it, everything that is below will be executed. So the first thing we are going to do is a simple hi API, and later maybe in this video or maybe the next video we'll be talking about how to build a weather app using Buildship. All right. So right now, the input. So what do we want? We want actually an app that says hi. Like, we want to send an API that we give it the name and we return hi plus that name. So it's a very, you might be thinking that it's a ridiculous example, but for a beginner, it really teaches you a lot. So that's it. So what is the input? So what are we going to give this API? Like, we are going to give it the name, all right? And the name is a string. So we can actually, call it, let's say, user name, or you can call whatever you want, but make sure that the name has to match in in Buildship as well as FlutterFlow, so you don't get confused. So it's called username, all right, and it is a string. So we have it here. So we have actually done the input. So now we need another node. This node will actually be saying hi. So inside of Buildship, there is no node that actually will say hi. So that's why we are gonna actually create one using AI. So you can actually hover over here and click on build with AI, and you can actually give it a description of the node you are looking for. So the description I gave it was that I need a node that accepts a string called username, and then it returns a JSON. So now we are going to say, so whenever you are talking about a node, you have to specify the input. So we want you to accept a string called username, all right, which is what we have done here. So this is like, it accepts an input, and here I actually mentioned the return. It has to return a JSON. So I want a JSON. You can choose a text, but with APIs, I just prefer JSON. It's really comfortable. So there is nothing wrong with that. So I need a return a JSON inside that JSON. So you cannot just tell it, hey, I will give you a name and give me JSON. Now you have to specify how that JSON will be. So JSON is like a list, all right, of data. But I told it inside that JSON there should be a greeting message saying hi plus that name, or hello plus that name. So we will either say hi John or hello John. So that's what I want. You can actually give it anything you want. You can actually change any node you like. So, but for the purpose of this small tutorial, I want to actually make it as simple as I can. So while the node is being generated, I actually want to invite you to join our school community if you haven't done that. So please, I have left a link to you in the description down below, so we can click on and join. And here we are, so many people talking about FlutterFlow and our ideas and stuff like that. So if you really want to use FlutterFlow, Buildship, Superbase, whatever you want, this community is for you. So please, you can join using the link below. And if you have any question, you can actually ask that question and make it a question here, so we can actually help you if you have any problem. And of course, if you want to learn more about FlutterFlow or master FlutterFlow, I have a series called FlutterFlow Mastery, which can start with for free, which is called the beginner's course. You can join here for free, and you can actually continue down this path, which will definitely help you master FlutterFlow very fast and very easy. So we have everything from social media to AI app, all the way to offline apps. So here you will have everything like a community and an academy where you can learn everything you need. So please don't forget to join using the link below. So here we are back in Buildship. So we have our node. This is the node, and this is its name. All right, it has been generated. So you can drag it and drop it right there. So now you will have it. So now what this node has, like what is this node? This node accepts username and returns hi. All right, so this is the input. So what is the input? It will come from here. So the input of this API must be here. So we cannot say John and call it a day. No, it will always say hi John, but we want to make it variable. So the input that we give the API, the name that we give to the API, must be the one that this node will check. So how we do it? We click here and they click on variable, and where is the username? It's an input, so click on it. So when you click on for the first time, you will have this problem, but just click back here and again click on that pencil, click here, click on input. You will actually keep seeing this problem, but let me actually fix it for you. So let's try it again. Let's click here again. All right, so that's becoming annoying. So I have just refreshed the entire page. Hopefully now it will work. So now you see here, when you click on it, then it will show you the input. All right, so that is it. And if you don't want to see it as a text right here, you can actually just type in username. All right, so click here and it will be added there. So you can choose, but I just want to show you because you might face this problem so often. So don't be scared, because everything's working fine. You just need to refresh your page, everything will just work fine. So here, when it comes to so this is the input, this is the output, like they are separated with this line. So what is the result? So it will give you a JSON. This is the logo of a JSON, and inside of it there is that greeting message. You might be asking, why don't you just get the greeting message directly? So no, I don't like that. So I like to have a JSON and then specify exactly what I want inside of it, because if you are scared of JSON, don't use Buildship and don't use APIs, because all APIs use JSON, as you will see later. But anyway, so now we have given the name here. We told it what to do with that name, and it has returned the greeting message. So now we have to return. Like, you cannot just give it the name and tell it what to do, and then that's so what happens is this will stay on the cloud somewhere. Like, we need some return, we need to go back, we need something to get back to us, we need to say the hi or the greeting. So how do we do it? So that's where the output comes into place. So we have flow, we have input, you can call this operation, and we have output. So again, input, the operation that you want to do. It can be weather, it can be hi, it can be send an email, and here it can be output. All right, so what you want in return. So you might be asking, hey, we don't always need output. Yes, because sometimes if you are sending an email, you don't always need an output. All right, so it depends on situation. So here we are going to choose last node output, which is this one, and they are already specified here by the name. See here, it's called username greeting and username greeting, and they have already told you that you are going to return a JSON. So if you click here, it's the custom output, and you can just come here to the editor right here. So do the same way we have specified here. So we can either choose it or write it. So here, when you click here, you will choose it automatically, or when you click on custom output, you click here and you write the name here of this node. So say user, and that will just pop up username greeting JSON. So this is exactly how it looks like. So you better just have last node. They do pretty much the same. So this is exactly our simple flow in Buildship. Hopefully you have understood everything right. Again, we need a trigger to trigger everything, and for most cases it's going to be a REST API, and we choose the get method. So we have given input, which is the username, and we told it what to do with that, and then we told it to return the hi. So the result of the operation must be returned to us so we can actually show it to people in our app. So here we are back in FlutterFlow. Now we have to connect the API to our app. So here I already have one. So let's actually delete it to start from scratch. So click on add and with API call. This is going to be Buildship greeting. All right. So here as I told you before, we have chosen the get method. We will actually dive into a lot of methods in different videos, but they are all going to be in the same playlist. So watch out for that. So here we need an API URL. So click here. So before you actually want to connect, this workflow is still here. Like it's not on the cloud. It hasn't been deployed somewhere on the internet. So we have to deploy it. And once you have deployed it, you will have a link. You can just copy. All right. But if you want to again see where you can find it, you can just click on connect and copy it from here. So now we have actually given it the link, and it's not all because we need the header. The first header is what you see here. It's content type application.json, which means that the return value of this API should be JSON. We're talking about that. All right. So content type will be application. So it's // so /JSON. All right. That's the first one. Then we need parameters. So parameters are the input. All right. So what do you need? Like the input specifically for the get method. All right. So, and in FlutterFlow, the rule of thumb is that for every query parameter, you need a variable that goes with it. All right. So it's not that complicated. So we need a username here. Before we create it, we have to make it a variable. All right. So user. So we have talked about why we use variables in the API for beginners videos. So it's going to be a string. So now we have variable. We can come back here and add that parameter. They should be the same name, and instead of specific value, we choose variable and we choose that. So that's it. So we have add an API call. So now we have actually linked it to FlutterFlow. Let's actually click here to see if we can actually do a response. So we click on include and we say John. So let's click on test API, and you see here that, so right now we are getting greeting, and we are getting hello John. Sometimes we get hello John, sometimes we will get hi John. So it won't appear right now, but that because we told the code to say hello, sometimes say hi. So here they are already telling you the JSON file you want to use. So sorry, the JSON path. So keep in mind. So remember this. So what this does, it shows you only this one, only this value. So you are still getting a JSON, but you only show the user this one here. So let's actually go ahead and build an app that does specifically this. So we will need a button that is. So let me build this UI for you fast, and we can come back and continue working. So this is a small and simple UI. I don't have to focus a lot on that. So click on greet, and then like this action will actually trigger the API. So as I told you, our API or our flow in Buildship can be triggered by a call. So now we have to call it. Like, you just think of it as a real call. Someone like you know someone somewhere, and maybe you have a friend, and you told them to do something only when you call him. So that's the same. So this will be executed only if we call this API. That's why this is the trigger. It's a REST API call. It's like an API call. We need to call it. All right. So let's actually call this API. So we search for API. So when we click on that button, we click on API call, and we choose the API. And then now, if you want to call the API, you have to provide the username. All right, so say, sorry, this comes from a text field. All right, so, and we have, we can say result. All right, so if result was success, if the result here was success, which means the API was working very well, then we show a dialog, information dialog. We say success, and then here we display the message that we got from the success of the API. All right. So where is it? So we had done an API called action. So the result should be an action result. All right. Or action output. So, all right, this is the one. And then the JSON body and JSON path, and then as I told you, the one that she told you to remember before, which is this one. Click on confirm. All right. And if it was not successful, we show another informational dialog. All right. Search for informational dialog and say error. And so we can say something like, sorry, we couldn't make this API call. So this is like a very simple example, but for a beginner, it means a lot. All right. So let's actually wait for this error here to be fixed. So action not defined. All right, we defined the action, so it's like taking some time to load. So now we have no problem. Let me click on chess mode, and I will see you next part. So here we are in the chess mode. Let's actually click here and type in, let's say John, and then we are going to click on greet. So let's see what's gonna happen. So here we see success. Hello, John. Okay, so we say Mohammed, for example. And when we click on greet, see, hello, Mohammed. So now what happens is that we are actually connecting FlutterFlow to Buildship, and Buildship is talking about the API. So all the APIs are behind Buildship. Buildship takes care of everything and then returns the value. So right now what we have actually done in this video was to talk about let's say like a general example, or at least just something for beginners. Like if you are just starting out using Buildship, this might be the best video you have watched, because in the future we are going to be investing a lot of time building a lot of complicated flows in Buildship and exploring almost every angle that we can actually explore in this tool. And to be honest with you, if you learn FlutterFlow and combine it with a good knowledge in Buildship, they're going to be unstoppable, because you will actually be building, or you'll be able to build complex apps, especially in AI, because when it comes to APIs, we are most talking about AI, because to use AI in your app, you can just use OpenAI API or Google Gemini API, and you are good to go. So we are going to talk about that also in this playlist. So please make sure to check out the playlist from time to time for new videos, and make sure to always watch the first videos that you see on top, because they are meant to teach you the foundations, and you can go down for 2 more advanced videos. So thanks so much, and as usual, I will always be happy to have you inside our community, so you can join us using the link below.